What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. This is El Maestro. Class, welcome to my YouTube channel. For today, we're going to discuss properties on the operations on integers. So, this is a very important topic, especially for grade 7. This would be somehow matatawag natin pundasyon, no? Especially when we do operations, okay? When we do mathematical operations in different like topic, especially pag nasa grade 8 na kayo, 9, 10. So this is very important, okay? So first thing that you're going to do, prepare everything na kailangan nyo, ball pen, pens, and even scratch papers, no? So you take note sa mga bagay na pwede nyong matutunan for today. Okay? So without any further ado, let's proceed. Okay, so properties on the operations on integers. So what are those properties? Isa-isahin natin. So the properties of real numbers are useful in performing operations. Again, as what I have told you earlier, no, napaka-importante nito, especially when performing operations. Okay? So dapat ma-master talaga natin to. And later, in simplifying algebraic expressions. Okay? And these are written on the table below are the different properties. So tingnan natin, ano yung mga different properties. So, its meaning, notation, and symbols, and examples. So these are the properties. First is we have the closure property of addition. Second, closure property of multiplication. We have commutative property of addition, commutative property of multiplication, associative property of addition, associative property of multiplication. We also have distributive property, additive identity property, and multiplicative identity property, and inverse property in addition, and last, inverse property in multiplications. So at least we have 11 properties on the operation of integers. So isa-isahin natin ito, no? So para mas maintindihan natin. Some of these medyo kailangan na nating intindihin, and some of these kailangan natin talagang like parang we will give examples, no, para mas maintindihan natin lalo. Okay? So first is we will discuss we will describe or ang tawag dito, understand what is a closure property of addition. Okay? So makita nyo, meron tayong properties. Ito yung name, ano yung meaning niya, notation and symbols, and we will give examples. Okay? So first, closure property of addition. Okay? So ano yung meaning? The sum of any two integers is an integers. So importante alam natin what is an integers. Okay? So meron tayong video, separate video, what is an integers, no? Operation on integers. Okay? So dapat malaman natin 'yon. So you can check my YouTube channel, meron tayong different video regarding integers. Okay? So it says here, ang meaning niya, the sum of any two integers is an integers. So napakadaling isipin, no? So meaning, pag nag-add ka ng dalawang integers, yung result niya is integer. Nakuha? Okay? So hindi pwedeng mag-add ka ng dalawang integers, yung result hindi integer. Dapat integer din ang result. Okay? So ito yung symbol. If A, B is an element of I, this is integers, then A plus B is an element of I or element of integers. Okay? So, kung ano, sa madaling sabi, ito yung example. Tingnan mo. 2 and 3 are integers, right? Diba si 2 is integer, si 3 is integer. Pag in-add natin si 2 and 3, ang result is what? 5. Okay, di ba? Then 2 plus 3 is an integer. So 2 plus 3, since 2 is integers, then 3 is integer. Pag in-add natin yung dalawa, ang result is 5. Then 5 is an integer. Parang ganun lang. Okay? So, let's say, negative 2 and negative 7 and negative 2. These two are integers. So, since these two are integers, pag inad natin, yung result is an integers also, or an integer, which is negative 9. Ganun lang, class. No? Ito lang yung closure property na gusto niyang i-emphasize na pag nag-add ka ng dalawang integers or tatlong integers or apat na integers, yung result niya is an integer also. Okay? Nakuha. Okay. So, like the third example, we have 10 and negative 30. These two are integers. Pag inad natin, the result is negative 20, which is also an integer. Yun yung closure property. So actually, sa pangalawa, yung closure property ng multiplication, the same principle na meron siya. Okay? Tingnan mo, the product of two integers is an integer. Parang ganun din, lang din. Nag-multiply ka ng dalawang integers, so meaning, ang result nun, integer pa rin. Okay? Parang ganun lang. So tingnan mo sa example, we have 12 is an integer, 4 is an integer. Pag minultiply natin yan, the result is 48. Then 48 is an integer. Right? So ganun lang. So wag mo na masyadong alalahanin to. Okay? Kasi parang in-introduce lang niya na kahit anong gawin mong add at multiply sa dalawang integers, yung result niyan is integer pa rin. Okay? So tapos na tayo sa dalawa, we will have the third. Ito, commutative property of addition. Okay? So this is very important, class, especially sa inyo, no? Some of you naku-confuse kasi dito. So take note of this. Sabi, commutative property of addition. Two integers can be added in any order. So yung dalawang integers, pwede daw nating i-add in any order, kahit sinong mauna sa kanila. Tingnan mo, si A plus B is equal to B plus A. Pareho lang. Example, 12 plus 7 is equal to 7 plus 12. Kasi some of the students makukonfuse na pag, let's say for example, 12 plus 7, tapos yung binigay, pagdating sa baba, ginawa ng teacher na 7 plus 12. So sabihin, sir, bakit ganon? So pareho lang yun. In any order, ganon pa rin yun. The same answer. Example, this one, 12 plus 7. Di ba that is equal to 19? No, kahit babalik ta rin natin yan, 19 pa rin yung result. Di ba? So, babalik natin, ganun pa rin. So, regardless of their arrangement or order, you will have the same answer. So, tawag dyan, commutative property of addition. Nakuha? So, wag kayong ma-confuse ha. Later on, baka makita nyo na magkaiba-iba na yung pagka-arrange ng numbers. Ganun pa rin yun. Okay? Next. Negative 7 plus negative 2 is equal to negative 9. So, tingnan nyo, class. Oh, regardless of their arrangement, the same pa rin yung result nila. Okay? Diba? Pag binalik natin, ganun pa rin, negative 9. It does not change. Ang importante dyan, class, is you have to bring the, pag pinalit mo yung order nila, pag pinag-interchange mo yung arrangement nila, make it sure na yung sign dadalhin mo. Ha? Hindi pwedeng pinalit mo sa kabila or nag-rearrange ka pero yung sign niya iniwan mo. Okay? So dapat you have to bring the sign. Next, commutative property of multiplication. Ganon din, 'di ba? Sabi niya, two integers, parang sa addition kanina, two integers can be multiplied in any order. The same. In any order, pwede, the same result. Let's say for example, 12 times 4. Is just simply equal to 4 times 12. Diba? The same result sila. So, tingnan natin. 12 times 4. Kung makita nyo class, or tingnan nyo, dot ang ginagamit dyan. So, this is multiplication. Ha? Sometimes, we use close and open parenthesis, or sometimes, gamit tayo ng ganito na sign. Pareho lang yan. Ha? That is multiplication. That is equal to 48. Tingnan nyo. Kahit i-rearrange natin yan, pinagpalit natin, the same pa rin yung result. Kahit ibalik natin, ganon pa rin yung result, no? It does not change the answer. Okay? So another example we have, okay, negative 20 times negative 5, that is equal to 100 because negative times negative is positive. So kahit i-rearrange natin yan, ang order nila, you will have the same result. Again, is that it does not change your result. Okay? Ganon pa rin. So, that is commutative property on multiplication. Nakuha. Okay? So, next. So, we have associative property of addition. Okay, anong sabi dito sa associative property? So, associative property of addition, sabi niya, if three integers are added, changing the grouping of numbers that are added does not change the sum. So, meaning, i-group natin, tingnan mo, meron tayong A plus B plus C. Una is, nag-group yung A plus B. Equal lang yan kung unahin mo pag-group yung B at C. Okay? So, tingnan natin to. Let's have this example para mas madali. Okay? I put it here, yung example kanina. Okay? Nakita nyo? So, let's have this example. Tingnan natin yung example na yan. Okay? Sa symbol na to. Okay? Sabi niya again, if three integers are added, nag-add ka ng 3 integers, let's say for example, we have A plus B plus C, then changing the grouping of the numbers that are added does not change the sum. So, hindi na change. Kahit unahin mo pag-group yung A plus B, is equal lang yun siya sa pag-unahin mo yung B plus C. Okay? So, let's have this example. Okay. So, the example is, okay, 2 plus 15 plus 8. That is equal to 25. So, anong ginawa natin? Una, group natin yung dalawa. 2 plus 15. What is 2 plus 15? Ito. That is equal to 17. So, pag tapos natin yan ma-add, kasi naging group na si 2 plus 15. Plus natin si 8, the result is 25. Nakuha? How about if i-change natin yung groupings? This time, ang ginawa nating group, si 15 at 8. So, pag in-add natin si 15 at 8, that is equal to 23. So, i-plus natin yung si 2, the result is still 25. Diba? Nakuha? So, meaning, regardless kung anong grouping yan, class, you will have the same result. Okay? So, that is associative property of addition. Okay, negative 3 plus negative 7 plus 8. That is equal to negative 2. Again, let's group. I-group natin yung negative 3 plus 7. So, if baka magtaka kayo, class, bakit braces yung ginamit ko? Kasi meron na tayong close and open parenthesis. No? Para mas anong tawag nito, mas ma-emphasize natin, no? Na ito yung group natin na nasa brace. Nilagyan lang natin ito ng parenthesis kasi negative siya. So, hindi pwedeng magdikit yung dalawa. So, we separate that with parenthesis. So, unahin natin yan. So, negative 7 plus negative 3. That is equal to negative 10. So, i-plus natin yung 8. That is equal to negative 2. Okay? So, let's change the grouping. Unahin natin pag-group to. So, magiging, that is 1 plus negative 3. So, the result is still negative 2. Nakuha nyo? So, regardless kung anong grouping unahin nyo, you will have the same result. And that is what you call the associative property of addition. So, meron tayong example number 3. Pwede nyo i-check. Double check that one, no, para mas ma-familiarize kayo. Next, the associative property of multiplication somehow related sa associative property of addition. Sabi niya, if 3 integers are multiplied, changing the grouping numbers and are added does not change. Multiplied, changing the groupings numbers that are multiplied, this is multiplied, okay, does not change the product. Okay? Tingnan natin. Okay? So you have A, B times C. Group yung naging group dito is A times B. Sa kabila, B and C. So, pareho ra yung result. Tingnan natin. So, 10 times 2 times 3 is equal to 60. So, let's group. Ito una nating ginawang group. So, that is 10 times 2. That is equal to 20. Then, you multiply it by 3. That is equal to 60. So, i-change natin yung grouping. inuna natin yung si 2 times 3. So that is equal to 6. Then we multiply 10. The result is still 60. Again, the result does not change. Now, regardless kung anong grouping inuna mo, you will have the same result. Okay? So that is associative property of multiplication. Next is we have distributive property. Okay? So sa distributive property, sabi dito, multiplying the sum of the two or more addends by a number will give the same result as multiplying each addend individually by the number and then adding the products together. So mas maintindihan natin 'yan if we will have example. Nakita nyo, meron kang isang integer dito multiplied sa dalawa na pinag-add, no? Nakita nyo, add. So dinistribute niya ngayon is the same result sa ganito. Okay, let's have this example. Okay, kunin natin yung example. So we have 7 times 5 plus 3 is equal to, so we will use distributive property, meaning you multiply 7 to 5, that is 7 times 5. Next, copy. Kung anong sign dyan, class, you copy. Okay, pag minus yan, minus. Okay, then, next, 7 times 3, that is 7. So nakita nyo, so separate na. So sabi sa meaning dyan, pwedeng unahin natin to pag-add, then i-multiply natin by 7. Or, we use distributive property. Napaka-importante ng distributive property later on. Especially, if mag-deal na tayo ng variables. For now, pwede nating diretsuhin, okay, kasi wala namang variables, pero yung principle niya is napakalaki yung gamit niya, no? Yung use ng principle ng distributive property later on, no? Pag nag-deal na tayo ng mga variables. Okay? So 7 times 5, that is 35, plus 7 times 3 is 21, that is equal to 56. Tingnan nyo, class. Pag inuna natin yan, okay, the same result lang. So 5 plus 3 is 8. Then we multiply by 7, that is 56. Okay? So nakita nyo? So that is distributive property. Another example. So negative 2 times negative 2 plus 6. That is equal to distributive property, negative 2 times negative 2. Okay? So don't forget the sign. Then, plus, negative 2 times positive 6. That is negative 2 times 6. Okay, next. Negative 2 times negative 2. Ito, negative 2 times negative 2. That is equal to 4. Then plus, then negative 2 times 6, that is negative 12. So you add, unlike sign, subtract, copy the sign of the greater absolute value. So that is negative 8. Pag dinerecho natin, pwede lang, tingnan natin, the same result lang. So negative 2 plus 6, that is 4. Then you multiply it by negative 2, the result is negative 8. Okay? So that is distributive property. Nakuha. Okay? So, next is the additive identity property. Ito medyo mas madali lang, class. Sabi dito, additive identity property, the sum of any number and 0 is the number itself. So meaning, kahit anong i-add mo, okay, or any integer, pag in-add mo ng 0, yung result is that number itself. Diba? Meaning, 0, a plus 0, that is equal to a. So, meaning, 5 plus 0, that is equal to 5. 0 plus negative 3, that is equal to negative 3. Kahit anong number or kahit saan mo i-add yung 0, let's say for example, 0 plus 10, the result is 10. Yun yung additive identity property. Okay? So kahit anong add mo sa 0, it does not change. Ganon pa rin yung number na pinag-add mo. Okay? So this is just what we call the additive identity property. Okay? So, iba yung additive, multiplicative identity property. Dito, 0. So, the additive identity is 0. So, any number you add to 0 is the number itself. Next is multiplicative identity property. Ito iba din. Sabi dito, the product of any number and 1 is the number itself. So, kahit anong number ang i-multiply mo sa 1, ganun pa rin yung result, the number itself. Meaning, a times 1, that is equal to a. Okay? Or 5 times 1, that is 5. 1 times negative 3, the result is still negative 3. Negative 100 times 1, the result is 100 pa rin. O kahit ano, kahit saan mo i-multiply si 1, ganun pa rin. Let's say, 200 times 1, 200 pa rin yung result. Okay? Or negative 15 times 1, negative 15 pa rin yung result. So the multiplicative identity is negative 1. Okay? So the additive identity is 0, multiplicative identity is negative, or the positive 1. Okay? So inverse property in addition, ito inverse. So we have the sum of a number and its additive inverse. So yung additive inverse is 0. The additive inverse of the number a is negative a. Okay? Let's say, kung anong let's say you have 2, tapos kunin mo yung inverse niya, so positive 2, ang additive inverse ng positive 2 is negative 2. Okay? So pag inad mo yung dalawa, the result is 0. Tingnan mo. 12. Ano yung additive inverse ni 12? When we say additive inverse, yung negative value niya. Kasi from positive siya, kukunin natin yung negative value niya. Okay, so since 12 is positive, so ang additive inverse niya is yung negative niya. So pag inad mo yung dalawa, the result is always 0. Baliktad naman tayo. Una is negative 5. So kunin mo yung positive value niya. So negative plus positive, or negative 5 plus positive 5, the result is 0. Okay, so let's have example. What is the additive inverse of 10? The additive inverse of 10 is negative 10. Okay? So what is the additive inverse of negative 6? The result is, or the additive inverse is 6. Ganon lang. So kung 6 siya, additive inverse is negative 6. If we have negative 5, the additive inverse is 5. If we have 2, the additive inverse is negative 2. Meaning, pag inad mo yung dalawa, the result is always 0. Tingnan mo, sa last example natin. You have negative 50, pag add mo yan sa positive 50, the result is 0. So yun lang yun. So pag may nakita kayong ganito class, this is inverse property in addition. Okay? And we have also the inverse property in multiplication. So in multiplication class, the product of a number and its multiplicative inverse, okay, also called reciprocal. Multiplicative inverse means this is mostly known as reciprocal. Okay? So, let's say for example, you have the multiplicative inverse of a number a is 1 over a. Tingnan mo. A. So, pag nireciprocal mo yan, babaliktarin mo. If makuha mo yung a, meron over 1, di ba? So, naging 1 over. Pag i-multiply mo yan, the result is 1. Always 1 talaga yan. Tingnan natin. 12. Ano yung reciprocal ng 12? Pag sinabi natin reciprocal, babaliktarin natin yan. So, yung 12 magiging 1 over 12. Maybe you will ask, sir, bakit may 1 dyan? Saan mo kinuha yung 1? Always remember class na yung 12, meron niyang over 1. Okay? Always yan may over 1 dyan. Okay? So, hindi na natin nilalagay kasi pag 12 divided by 1 is 12 pa rin. Pero pag nireciprocal natin yan, ilalagay natin sa taas. Tingnan natin, baliktad. Let's say for example, negative 4. Ano yung inverse property or the reciprocal of 4 or negative 4? The reciprocal of negative 4 is 1/4. Negative 1/4. Negative 1/4 pa rin class. Meron yung negative dyan. So negative 1/4. Okay, so the result is 1. Again, negative 30. The reciprocal of negative 30 is 1 over 30. Since this is negative, negative also. Pag minultiply mo dyan, the result is 1. So that is inverse property in multiplication. So this lesson class, napakahalaga nito later on. Kasi pag familiar kayo nito, pag ma-master mo tong mga properties na to, mas madali yung operation na gagawin mo sa integers. Okay? So if you have questions and clarification, just comment it down below. If you have something to ask or topics na gusto mong i-discuss natin, just comment it down below class so pwede natin magawa ng video. So any math problem, no? So gagawa natin yan ng video if you have questions. Then if you have no question, so I hope that you learn something from this. So if hindi pa kayo nakasubscribe, just click the subscribe button and notification bell so that updated mo sa mga bagong video na ilalabas natin regarding sa mathematics. Okay? Thank you for watching, guys. God bless you all.